Hello, this is an honor for me to speak in front of all of you here. Although what I only see is a camera, but I'll pretend as if everyone is here. My name is Hyung Nam from Kotra London office. I really hope some of you already know what Kotra is. Kotra, Korea Trade and Investment Promotion Agency, is a not-for-profit South Korean government organization which has equivalent function to Invest Northern Ireland or DIT in the UK. One of our major roles is to help develop business relationship between UK and South Korea. I'm here to emphasize the outstanding investment environment in South Korea to you today. Let me start with Korea's economy. The phrase miracle on Han River, it well represents Korea's amazing transformation. For your information, Han River is like Dance River in Korea. Korea has become the very first country to be an aid recipient but turned itself into a donor, demonstrating one of the greatest economic miracles in history. Korea is now called a global ICT powerhouse, showing spectacular growth in its economy since 2000s. All major economic indicators, including GDP and FDI net inflows, show modest growth and stability. Now, Korea is placed at 10th place in global GDP ranking and 9th in foreign exchange reserves ranking. 2020 and 2021 were harsh on not only Korea but also every country in the globe. But as you can see, we've bounced back successfully, showing 2.7% of GDP growth in 2022. What we do the best is exporting. Due to COVID-19, average export volume has decreased from over $600 billion, but Korea is still world's sixth largest exporter. Do you know how small Korea is? It is only half size of UK, and maybe Republic of Ireland has similar size. Given this fact, and see the numbers again. It is amazing. Also, even with the pandemic crisis, we maintained decent level of fiscal stability. This is well shown at the credit ratings by Moody's, S&P Global, and Fitch. Major credit agencies evaluated Korea as one of the most reliable countries in the world, like France. Next, let's learn deeply on FDI in Korea. Despite the movement restriction under COVID-19 pandemic, FDI inflows to Korea recorded an all-time high in 2021. Investment in the service sector such as ICT industry led the recovery of FDI inflows to Korea. Other than the amount increase, the New York Times, GM, and some more global big companies moved their Asian Pacific headquarters to Korea. By region, it was Europe that took up the largest proportion in 2021, followed by Asia and Americas. While the investment amount from Americas has dropped slightly, an increase in the investment from European and Asian regions drove the overall investment expansion. This shows investment inflows by country. Despite the large drop in investment amount from Americas, the investment amount from the US, which accounts for overwhelming share of investment from Americas, fell only 0.9%. The investment amount from European and Asian regions, including Singapore, Germany, Ireland, and Japan, expanded significantly. However, investment from China and Hong Kong fell slightly, in large part due to the huge increase made in 2020. By industry sector, the share of investment in service industry has continued to expand, reaching almost 80% led by fourth industrial revolution. From the mid to long-term perspective, investment in the manufacturing sector has continued to decline after peaking out at 37.4% in 2018. When we take a look at FDI inflows by investment type, you can see that greenfield investment accounted for 61.3% and M&A investment accounted for 38.7%. The total number of foreign invested companies in South Korea is 14,696 in 2020, with 230 of the Fortune 500 companies invested in Korea. Although the number of foreign invested companies accounted for only 1.8% of Korean companies, it accounts for 11% of total corporate sales, 18% of exports, and 5% of employment in Korea. As such, the increase of foreign investment, which account for a large portion of Korean economy, is naturally leading the solid growth of Korean economy. So, why do they invest into Korea? The main reason is that they want to enter Korean domestic market, which is huge. I'll show you how big it is later. Also, they want to own an equity for investment, or use production base for export, utilizing Korea's advantage of connectivity. Many people think that Korea is popular for its ICT technology. It is obvious because we are the mother country of Samsung and LG. It is true that we have strong ICT power, but we have more than that. Let's see what we've got. Korea is one of the most innovative countries in the world. In the Bloomberg Innovation Index, which combines all of these indicators, Korea ranked first in 2021. We've topped the list 7 times in the past 9 years. And as you all may know, we have strong ICT infrastructure. Now, Korea is aiming to make 6G mobile services commercially able by 2028 for the first time in the world. It also plans to further improve the related legislation and infrastructure to prepare to utilize flying car technologies by as early as 2025. Everything related to ICT is strong here. We even have strongest e-commerce market in the world. E-government is no exceptions. We also have strong manufacturing competitiveness. The number of Korean products leading the global market is also increasing. In high-tech manufacturing such as OLED, DRAM, and EV battery. The world is going green, and Korea's renewable energy industry is consistently developing with this trend. We have the largest Green New Deal policy showing a fast transition to a hydrogen society. Earlier, I mentioned that Korea is a very small country in its size, but Korea's domestic market is huge. We have population of 50 million, which makes us 14th place in global domestic market. This enables Korea to be the testbed market for various kind of industries. It is in Korea. I start to tear up just thinking about it. This is the answer from Costco founder Jim Senegal when asked where is Costco's highest volume store. Isn't it funny that the highest volume store at Costco is in Korea? Korean domestic market is not only big but also very open to new products. So when you have a product which is good enough to attract Koreans, it may work. They'll solve anything. They use, they eat, they play, they drink, and they pay. We also have 57 FTAs, including EU and China. Korea has signed FTA with the UK in 2020, and it came into force on 1st of January 2021. The current South Korea-UK FTA replicates the former South Korea-EU agreement such as tariff on palm nuts and commercial products. And also, for those parts made in Europe can be considered as regional products. By this agreement, trade between Korea and UK increased 33%. On 9 December 2022, the UK government launched a public call for negotiations on an enhanced trade deal with South Korea. The new deal will upgrade trade agreement between South Korea and UK, ensuring a more modern and fit-for-purpose deal that builds on our existing £14.3 billion trading relationship. Let's talk about doing business in South Korea. Just remember these three words: easy, free, and cheap. Easy. It only takes 8 days to start a business in Korea, and Korea was ranked at third place in Linear Shipping Connectivity Index in 2020. Free. There are business location support for various industrial zone types in Korea. For example, there are 9 free economic zones, 109 foreign investment zones, 13 free trade zones, and 1,246 industrial complexes, making us fifth place in business freedom ranking. Let's take a look at Asian Pacific Prime Office rent. As you can catch, the capital of Korea, Seoul, is even cheaper than Taipei, Bangkok, and Mumbai. Living environment in South Korea is also fantastic. It is a surprisingly stable country. No need to mention about safety. It is top level. You don't need to worry when you get sick here. Korea has top-notch healthcare infrastructure, and what I was most surprised coming to the UK was that it takes too much time just to see a doctor, which never happens in Korea. Cost of living is also very cheap compared to other big cities like London, New York, or Tokyo. So, once you're attracted to Korean market and want to invest into Korea, Invest Korea will be the most reliable supporter for you. I'll briefly explain Invest Korea, which is also called IK. IK was built in 1998 as one of the 6 divisions of KOTRA, and it is the highest decision-making body with regard to FDI, and along with the Ministry of Trade, Industry, and Energy. Invest Korea provides a one-stop service from pre-investment stage to investment execution stage, as well as aftercare service by foreign investment ombudsman. Also, we operate something called Invest Korea Marketplace, IKMP, a platform for matching outstanding Korean companies to investors throughout the world. We have a database with around 279 Korean companies seeking investment, which is available on our website. There are 36 overseas offices of Invest Korea, and our London office is one of them. Please feel free to contact us for further detailed information on Korea and Invest Korea. Lastly, in 2021, the United Nations recognized Invest Korea as one of the best investment promotion organizations in the world. You can always find us on our website and LinkedIn channel. Don't hesitate if you need any help. Thanks for listening.